Pan. Good morning, Pan.
Morning. Long time no see you.
Yeah.
Everything is okay in Myanmar.
Now, stable conditions, pandemic and political issues. Yeah.
But I think it's a little more stable than before. Because now the problem is COVID-19.
COVID-19 is a little bit slow down crisis. Stable conditions now. Yeah. And July and August is a very high risk COVID-19. Mr. Kim's passed away 23rd August.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're so sad about this news.
Yeah. Great loss of us.
Yeah. So you need to continue your society.
Yes. We are trying to continue our associations, and near futures, and new presidents will be elected by the consensus.
Okay, we miss only the Philippines, not yet to log in. But we had a schedule as we log in before 10 o'clock. But when we will start the video on 9:32,
Yeah.
we need to to talk again.
Okay.
Now we have around 400 participants to log in.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Long time no see.
Morning.
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 Chun. Good morning, you.
Thank you to join the meeting.
So we'll talk again about today the schedule. After 2 minutes, we will start the video. The video is just only 全嗰個 video 係講咩嘢㗎啦？一陣間2分鐘後。
2分鐘後係學會嘅嘢同埋一啲供應商。
After 2 minutes, we will review about the video is around our societies, and then we will start the opening video at 10 o'clock, around 10 minutes. And then we have introductions of you, each of the president of each countries. And then we will have academic section. The academic section is around 1.5 hours. The academic section is continuous, the 5 topics. So after 1.5 hours, we have a Q&A, and then we have live again. And for the end, we have 3 minutes is about Mr. Kim from Myanmar, the video. And then we will do the closing. So today the schedule is around like that. So we have a live time is not too much. App幫準備 video。
我知道。
我而家出邊睇唔睇到我哋㗎？
全部都睇到。
聽到晒我哋講嘢都
係。
Miss Yin will join this webinar when she arrives hospitals, and she is driving now.
Yeah, I know, yes. No, never mind. Others can be logged in before 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's okay. We will start the video.
Okay.
unforgettable experience. An inspirational moment. Adding richness and color to daily life to make it more meaningful. Building trust and confidence for when only the finest quality will do. We at Canon have pursued the world of imaging for these moments that matter. Moments where we can capture stunning natural and human beauty. And can even see the smallest details inside the human body. At Canon Medical Systems, we develop and manufacture diagnostic imaging equipment that embraces life itself. Utilizing meticulous Japanese technology, Canon has been at the forefront of ultrasound research and development. Collaborating with our clinical partners to help patients for over 50 years. Delivering an extensive portfolio of innovative technologies that now support clinical practice in more than 150 countries globally. Faster, clearer, more beautiful images. Capturing the moments that matter. Supporting more informed healthcare decisions. Our mission to produce the finest images will never stop. Because every life is valuable. Made for life.
Countless patients have benefited from minimally invasive therapies, and many more will. It's a rapidly expanding and changing field. So we designed the Artis Icono family for you to tap this potential for growth and innovation, and cope with the mounting cost pressure. Based on future-ready technology that makes different disciplines feel at home in the same lab, it is easy to operate and even easier to monitor and maintain. Find out how Artis Icono will help you to optimize clinical operations for different disciplines, for individual interventionalists, and for your hospital as a whole. Artis Icono, an icon of innovation.
Perception, understanding, reasoning, creativity, wisdom, learning, intelligence, the ability to think abstractly and rationally and use that thought for purposeful action, the strongest tool of humankind. And a concept that we have pushed even further, making technology our strongest partner and giving us the confidence we need to make the right decisions intelligently. My exam companion is intelligence that works with you. It uses the new possibilities of digitalization to turn data into built-in expertise. To unlock the full potential of Somatome Excite. My exam companion helps users on their way to the consistent results that radiologists need. My exam companion, intelligence that works with you.
Change lies at the core of things. If you accept that, everything is possible. We took the power of digitalization and a new field strength with inherent clinical benefits to deliberately combine them to create greater clinical value. Introducing High-V MRI, value beyond barriers.
Magnetom Free Max, breaking barriers.
A system with helium-free MR operations cannot run for 24 hours a day. Based on a decade of innovation, we've revolutionized MR operations with the Ingenia Ambition 1.5T. Its groundbreaking Blue Seal magnet operates with only 7 liters of helium. This fraction of the usual amount of helium is placed in the magnet during manufacturing and then fully sealed, enclosing the coolant for the rest of its lifetime. No helium can escape, and the system will stay cool, ensuring hours and hours of continuous high-performance scanning, and creating peace of mind from potential helium complications. But it would not be such a game-changer if it only revolutionized helium-free MR operations. Also, no compromises are made on speed, patient comfort, staff comfort, and clinical confidence. You'll be amazed at what you can do without 1,493 liters of helium in your MR system.
technical efficacy of a gadolinium-based contrast agent depends on its relaxivity. That is, by how much T1 relaxation time is shortened. For efficient relaxation, water molecules need to bind directly to the inner coordination sphere of the gadolinium ion. By getting close to the gadolinium, each water molecule relaxes and then exchanges rapidly with the next water molecule. The molecular structure of the GBCA determines how effectively this happens. The macrocyclic GBCA gadovist has a special molecular structure with 3 hydroxyl groups. Those 3 hydroxyl groups retain water molecules through hydrogen bonding to build a large hydration sphere around the gadolinium, which is also called the second sphere. Now, not only do the water molecules in the inner sphere relax, the water molecules in the second sphere are close enough to the gadolinium ion to relax as well. The ability of gadovist to support both inner sphere and second sphere interaction with water molecules results in high relaxivity, leading to an enhanced signal intensity on the MR image. With its special molecular structure, gadovist shortens T1 relaxation time more efficiently than other macrocyclic contrast agents, which could enhance image quality and improve diagnostic confidence.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Due to the impact of COVID-19, this meeting is being conducted by live internet broadcast. The 21st annual meeting is being held by the Macau Radiological Technologists Association, and it is also the 8th online continuing professional development platform for Asian Radiologic Technologist societies. The co-organizer of this year's meeting include the Association of Cambodian Radiologic Technologists, the Hong Kong Radiographers Association, the Indonesia Radiographers Association, Macau Radiological Technologists Association, the Myanmar Society of Medical Radiation Technologists, the Philippine Association of Radiologic Technologists, the Singapore Society of Radiographers, the Taiwan Association of Medical Radiation Technologists, and the Vietnam Association of Radiological Technologists. Today's meeting is also the Radiological Technologists Forum of Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area. The co-organizer of the meeting include the Guangdong Medical Association Imaging Technology Branch, the Guangdong Medical Doctor Association, the Hong Kong Radiographers Association, and the Macau Radiological Technologists Association. Here, on behalf of the Macau Radiological Technologists Association, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all of you for your support and extend a cordial welcome to everyone. According to our schedule, we will now play the national anthem. Next is an anti-epidemic work review video.
自2019年底開始，新冠病毒喺全球肆虐。世界各地從此充斥住恐懼、彷徨、無助。成個世界彷彿瞬間停頓。曾經，我哋日以繼夜咁工作，穿着一層又一層密不透氣嘅個人防護裝備。曾經，我哋自發參與前線抗疫工作，加入 Dirty Team， 過住一整個月醫院為家嘅生活。面對呢啲嘅困境，各地醫護人員包括放射師仍然堅守崗位，勇敢咁對抗呢位敵人，努力肩負住守護家國嘅使命。只要我哋同心協力，一定能夠戰勝呢場嘅戰役。
content comes from Radiological Technologists in Macau and around the world. This clip truly reflects their anti-pandemic work. During the last difficult year, Radiological Technologists in Macau stood on the front line with wild winds and waves. As the leaders of Radiological Technologists in Macau, let's listen to the voices of Mr. L.K.Kok, President of the Macau Radiological Technologists Association, and Mr. Chun, Chairman of the Macau Radiological Technologists Association.
來自世界各地的朋友，大家好。過去1年，大家都很努力嚟面對今次嘅疫情。首先呢，讓大家呢向自己及向全世界人說聲加油。今年很可惜，因為疫情關係，未能夠大家在澳門一齊參與呢個活動。但係我哋彼此的友誼和學術的交流會繼續的。然而，疫情好似將我們隔離，但實際上我們更加團結同埋有共同嘅目標。希望能夠真正疫情盡快完結，再和大家喺澳門除下口包，拍出一張又一張充滿笑容的照片。Stay strong and stay healthy. Thank you.
大家好，自從2019年出現咗 COVID-19， 我哋嘅生活、工作模式都改變咗好多。由疫情發展初期到而家，我哋嘅工作模式不斷改進。因應疫情嘅發展，我哋優化咗隔離病房嘅工作流程，加強同事對感染控制嘅培訓。目的係令大家可以更安全咁為隔離病房嘅病人進行診療放射工作。8月初，澳門開展咗全民核酸檢測。身為澳門放射師嘅我哋，參加咗採樣工作。所以喺抗疫面前，我哋係不單止係放射師，亦都係守護市民健康嘅專業人士。我哋澳門嘅放射師係會繼續同大家一齊心抗疫。Fighting COVID-19, we can do it.
Thank you, Mr. Kok and Mr. Yu. Our opening ceremony ends here. Thank you. The webinar is about to begin. Please stay tuned to it. Hello. If the speed of your webcast is too slow, you may also use YouTube to watch our webinar. Please refer to the chat box for the YouTube link. Thank you. The scientific meeting of Macau Radiological Technologists Association is panelists from around the world to join our webinar. Please say hello to all of our audience if I announce your name. Thank you. Here, first, I introduce panelists from Macau, the MRTA, Mr. Denise Chun. Hello, Mr. Yu.
Hello, everyone. Long time no see. Welcome.
Now we have Mr. Taiwan from the VART Vietnam. Hello, Mr.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello. And then we have Mr. Sugiyanto from Indonesia. Hello. And we have Mr. Salah from Thailand. Mr. Salah, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Cora.
Hello. And we have Miss Yin Fan from Myanmar. Hello, Miss Yin.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. We also have Miss Edwin Ao from Myanmar. Hello. Here we have Miss Peachy from Philippines. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good morning from Philippines.
Hello. Also, we have Mr. Nelson Wen from Hong Kong. Hello, Mr. Nelson.
Hello, Cora, everyone. Good morning.
Hello, everyone. And also, we have Mr. Chun Yuan too from Taiwan.
Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Also, Miss Alex Zheng from Taiwan. Hello, Miss Alex.
Hi. Good morning, guys.
Hello. Hello. Miss Lai Kwan Chen from Malaysia. Hello, Miss Chen.
Hello, morning, Cora and everybody. Hello, long time no see. Hello, then we have Miss Denise Choong from Singapore. Hello, Miss Denise.
Morning, Cora. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. And we have Miss Zheng from Guangdong, China. Hello, Miss Zheng.
Hello.
And last but not least, Mr. Fernando Kok from Macau, the MRTA.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining our meeting. Through this meeting, I hope everyone can learn and benefit from each another. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fernando Kok. For all of our panelists, please stay on your webpage now, as we would like to take capture a good photo of all of us. Please get ready. Okay, ready? Smile. 1, 2.
Salah.
Okay, Mr. Salah.
Maybe my computer broke. I cannot show my picture. Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Everybody get ready.
Okay.
1, 2. Okay, I think it's finished. Thank you all of you. Now, let's start our academic forum. Welcome our moderator, Mr. Edwin Ao. Mr. Edwin Ao is the academic director of MRTA. Welcome.
Good morning, colleagues and friends. I am Edwin Ao. It is the 21st anniversary of MRTA. This year's scientific meeting is also the 8th online continuing professional development platform for Asian Radiology Technologists Society and the Radiological Technologists Forum of Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area. We have totally 5 speakers. Before our presentation starts, please allow me to introduce a few things about our webinar page. As you can see, there is a Q&A box. If you have questions you want to ask the speaker, you can simply type in your questions in the Q&A box. Also, there is a chat box for you to chat and discuss with each other. Okay, now let's welcome our first speaker, Mr. Siming Chow.
Mr. Siming Chow is the Deputy Chief Radiological Technologist in Department of Radiology of Guangdong Province's People's Hospital in China. He is also a member of Chinese Society of Imaging Technology and a member of Guangdong Province Medical Association Imaging Technology Branch. His topic is study on enhancement of coronary artery in computed tomography angiography by adaptive prospective ECG gating in patients with frequent premature beats. Let's welcome Mr. Siming Chow.
Hello everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me to the 21st Annual Scientific Meeting of Macau Radiology Association and Radiological Technologist Association. My name is Chao Ximing. I come from Guangdong Provincial Hospital. It's my honor to speak here, and I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share the topic with you. The topic of my speech is study or enhancement of coronary artery in computed tomography angiography by adaptive prospective ECG gating in patients with frequent premature beats. Coronary CT angiography with MSCT has been increasingly used for coronary artery disease. The success rate of CCTA has been improved greatly in patients with arrhythmia, especially frequent premature beat. And we can use the adaptive prospective ECG gating to reduce the radiation dose. However, there are some unsatisfactory aspects, such as poor enhancement of distal segment of coronary artery. In this case, we can say there were great enhancement in the proximal and middle segment of coronary artery, but poor enhancement in distal segment. In other words, the enhancement degree went or declined. In fact, these patients were examined by adaptive prospective ECG gating with frequent perimeter beat. From this picture, we can see the change of heart rate worldwide from 42 to 114. This happens often, so we designed the study to explore the phenomenon. The objective of the study was to explore the enhancement of coronary artery in computed tomography and angiography by adaptive prospective ECG gating in frequent perimeter beat. According to the results, to optimize the injection project of contrast media, ensure consistency of enhancement between proximal and distal segments of coronary artery, especially the great enhancement or distal segment of coronary artery. A retrospective analysis of a case series were performed. Patients suspected CPD with frequent perimeter beats were detected by the second generation dual source CT by adaptive prospective ECG gating. The number of repeated scan time and exam time were recorded. The CT values of outer or proximal, middle, and distal segment in right coronary artery were measured and compared between the different segments. There were 35 patients were formally brought into the study. Of these cases, 15 are male and 20 are female. The average age of study group were 67 years. The average height were 162, and the average weight were 69. The average minimum and maximum heart rate were 72, 15, and 190. All patients were detected by the second generation dual source CT with adaptive prospective ECG gating. Among scan parameters, care dose and care kV were used with the reference 120 kV, 320 MAS. In order to reduce the influence of injection project of contrast media, in this study, the same injection project were used. The concentration was 350. The dose were based on rate 1 m and the injection rate was 5. In the study, there were 6 patients with no repeated scan, 19 patients with 2 times of repeated scan, and 10 patients with 3 times of repeated scan. The average scan time was 1.65 seconds, and the average exam time was 8.75. It spent longer time in patients with frequent pre-image beats than the patients without arrhythmia. The more time of repeated scan, the longer of exam time it needs to complete the scan. These were the CT values of ultra or proximal, middle, and distal segment of right coronary artery. From this table, we can see the CT values decline gradually from proximal segment to distal segment. There were no significant differences in CT value of ultra between proximal and middle segment. There were significant differences in CT value of ultra between middle and distal segment, out proximal and distal segment. In our daily work, the distal segments of coronary artery are frequently overlooked because they are small and thin, but they are also very important. We should ensure their good enhancement rather than poor enhancement. There were 2 situations: poor enhancement only on distal segment or all segments. For the former, long exam time and not enough dose of contrast measure are most common causes. Specifically, it includes scan parameters, scan length, scan mode, heart rate, and so on. For the later, cardiac insufficiency and low concentration contrast measure are most common causes. We need to get the balance right between exam time and injection time of contrast measure in computing tomography and echography. Of course, CTA, all factors that can affect exam time or injection time of contrast measure need to give serious consideration to avoid imbalance between them. For example, scan mode. Now, adaptive prospective ECG gating in the current mainstream scan mode. For CCTA, this scan mode can reduce the radiation dose largely, while assure the demand quality due to the compensation technique, including broadened scan, ignore scan, and repeated scan if arrhythmia happens in the scanning, as well as frequent premature beat. In this case, it was a patient with frequent premature beat. The CCTA was completed by adaptive prospective ECG gating. From the ECG, we can see the heart rate had a wide change from 39 to 120, and there was 3 premature beats at the second, third, and fourth scanning location. Then, 3 times of repeated scan occurred at the location. Accordingly, repeated scan, the demand quality was ensured, but also a long exam time. are still some shortcomings in the scan mode for patients with frequent premature beat in CCTA. The most common shortcoming in poor enhancement of digital segments. This is the case I have mentioned earlier. The enhancement degree declined from proximal to digital segment. The most reason for this situation was the long exam time, while injection projects of contrast media were set as usual. The exam time had reached 13.3 seconds. That were twice as much as usual. 3 times of repeat scan were the main reason. Poor enhancement of digital segment of coronary artery happened if we didn't optimize the injection projects of contrast media, especially the dose of contrast media. So, for CCTA in patients with frequent premature beat, we can use adaptive perspective ECG gating that can ensure image quality because of compensation technique. But due to the long exam time for repeated scan, it often leads to pure enhancement of digital segments in coronary artery. So it's required to optimize the injection project for contrast media to ensure consistency of enhancement between proximal and distal segment in coronary artery, especially good enhancement of distal segment. That's all. Thanks for listening to my speech. These are my personal views. I hope you can help me to improve all them and give me your advice. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Chow's speech. Since he is attending to another meeting, we will pass all the questions to Mr. Chow and let him reply us by email. Now, we move on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Mr. Bin Hu.
Mr. Bin Hu is the Vice Professor in Department of Radiology of the Third Affiliated Hospital of Sun Yat-sen University in China. He is also a member in Youth Committee Abdominal Group of Chinese Society of Radiology, and committee member in Neurology Group of Guangdong Province Society of Radiology. Today, his topic is evaluation of MR elastography for prediction of lymph node metastasis in prostate cancer. Let's welcome Mr. Bin Hu.
Good morning, everyone. My topic is evaluation of MR elastography for prediction of lymph node metastasis in prostate cancer. Background: prostate cancer, PCA, is one of the most common cancers in men, and the global burden of this disease is rising. Lymph node metastasis, LNM, is an essential prognostic factor in patients with PCA, which has shown to be a valuable predictor for biochemical recurrence-free survival, metastatic-free survival, and overall survival in PCA. Extended pelvic lymph node dissection, EPLND, is the established method of staging regional nodes. However, this invasive technique may not have any direct benefit on cancer outcomes. It may result in more substantial adverse consequences in terms of operating time, blood loss, loss of stay, and post-operative complications. Therefore, a non-invasive imaging method is needed to reduce or eliminate the need for EPLND. Many non-invasive imaging techniques have been used to preoperatively characterize the lymph node metastasis of prostate cancer. Conventional CT and MRI rely on size criteria to determine lymph node status, and a meta-analysis found that the sensitivity and specificity for CT were 42% and 82%. For MRI was 39% and 82% respectively. And diffusion-weighted imaging has a sensitivity and specificity of 55% and 90% in detecting lymph node metastasis of prostate cancer. MRE can directly visualize the three-dimensional propagating mechanical shear waves and quantitatively measure tissue mechanical property in biological tissues. It is sensitive to the mechanical response of pathophysiology changes in soft tissue. Some studies have shown that MRE has potential for detecting, localizing, and staging prostate cancer. The feasibility of in vivo multi-frequency MRE of the prostate and indicated that MRE stiffness maps displayed many details of potential interest for cancer diagnosis. The purpose of this study was to assess the diagnostic performance of MRE by measuring the mechanical properties of the primary prostate cancer, identifying prostate cancer lymph node metastasis preoperatively. 49 patients were enrolled in this study. They were categorized into two groups based on the histopathological results of EPLND. 12 patients with regional lymph node metastasis were included in Group 1, prostate cancer with lymph node metastasis, also called positive LNM, and 37 patients without regional lymph node metastasis were included in Group 2, prostate cancer without lymph node metastasis, also called negative LNM. The figure is the flowchart of patient population in current study. MRI was performed on a 3T scanner with 8-channel phased array torso columns. The table is the pulse sequences and parameters of MRE, multiparametric MRI, and pelvic MRI. The pulse sequences of MRE included 60 Hz and 90 Hz, and the pulse sequences of multiparametric MRI included axial T2 weighted image and axial fat saturated T2 weighted image and axial T1 weighted image, and high B-value diffusion weighted image and multiple B-values diffusion weighted image, and DEC, dynamic contrast enhanced images. The pulse sequences of pelvic MRI included sagittal T2 weighted images, coronary T2 weighted images, and contrast T1 weighted images. MRE was performed with a custom-built passive driver. It was applied to the lower abdominal wall, partially overlapping the symphysis pubis. Continuous acoustic vibration and 60 Hz and 90 Hz which were generated by an active driver and transmitted to the passive driver via flexible Winnie tube to produce propagating sear waves in the prostate. A test vibration was first applied to allow the patient to get familiar with the vibration. A free-breathing multi-slice EPI 3D MRE sequence was used to image the waves. The MRE acquired displacement fields were processed using a 3D director inversion algorithm. The shear stiffness was calculated from the wave images using by first calculating the curl and the divergence of the wave information. The processing steps were applied automatically to generate quantitative images of tissue shear stiffness maps in units of kilopascals. A 73-year-old man with prostate cancer, red arrow, without lymph node metastasis. The tumor was shown homogeneous moderate hyperintense on T2-weighted image and hyperintense on diffusion-weighted image. The tumor stiffness was 4.17 kilopascal on 3D elastogram and 60 Hz and was 5.83 kilopascal at 90 Hz. A 60-year-old man with prostate cancer and with lymph node metastasis. The tumor, red arrow, was shown moderate hyperintense on T2-weighted image and hyperintense on diffusion-weighted image. The tumor stiffness was 5.76 kilopascal on 3D elastogram and 60 Hz and was 6.09 kilopascal at 90 Hz. An enlarged lymph node, yellow arrow, was found on T2-weighted image and diffusion-weighted image. Because the stiffness value of lymph nodes was similar with the stiffness value of surrounding structures, the lymph nodes was hardly directly visible in the elastogram. The color bar at the image of 3D elastogram from purple to red indicated the stiffness value from low to high. The stiffness value of surrounding structures was lower than that of the prostate and prostate cancer. So most of the surrounding structures were in purple and blue, while the colors of the prostate and prostate cancer. The mean prostate cancer stiffness at 60 Hz in the group with lymph node metastasis was significantly higher than that in the group without lymph node metastasis. And the mean prostate cancer stiffness at 90 Hz in group with lymph node metastasis was significantly higher than that in group without lymph node metastasis. Mean stiffness of prostate cancer was calculated and recorded in kilopascal using a manually specified region of interest. The ROIs was drawn independently by two radiologists who were experienced in reading MRE images. They were blinded to all clinical and histopathological results, and these two radiologists were also experienced in multiparametric MRI and pelvic MRI. All images and lesions were scored and reported according to the prostate imaging report and data system, high-res version 2.1 criteria. They are the individual results of MRE stiffness at 60 Hz and at 90 Hz for each reader. Inter-observer agreement of the prostate cancer stiffness measurements between two radiologists were evaluated using the intra-class correlation coefficient (ICC). There were excellent inter-observer reproducibilities of prostate cancer stiffness at 60 Hz and 90 Hz, with an intra-class correlation coefficient (ICC) of 0.839 and 0.887 respectively. Univariate and multivariate logistic regression analyses were performed to test association between the preoperative variables and lymph node metastases. Our studies showed that prostate cancer MRE stiffness was a significant marker for predicting lymph node metastasis with high odds ratio. Because there were collinearity between prostate cancer MRE stiffness at 60 Hz and at 90 Hz, two multivariable modes were fitted respectively, according to forward stepward regression based on maximum likelihood estimation. In Mode 1, prostate cancer MRE stiffness at 60 Hz and maximum diameter were independent significant variables for predicting lymph node metastasis of prostate cancer. In Mode 2, prostate cancer MRE stiffness at 90 Hz and maximum diameter was independent significant predictor. In the table, we can find the diagnostic performance of two significant imaging findings and their combination for predicting lymph node metastasis of prostate cancer. The sensitivity, specificity, PPV, NPV, and accuracy of the combination in Mode 1 were 100%, 91.9%, 80%, 100%, and 93.9%, respectively, with an AUC value of 0.982. The sensitivity, specificity, PPV, NPV, and accuracy of the combination in Mode 2 were 100%, 86.5%, 70.6%, 100%, and 89.8% respectively, with an AUC value of 0.975. There was no statistically significant difference between the AUCs of Mode 1 and Mode 2. Discussion: prostate cancer MRE stiffness and maximum diameter were independent and significant predictors of lymph node metastasis of prostate cancer. Combining these two MRI findings for predicting lymph node metastasis resulted in high predictive accuracy, with high sensitivity, specificity, and accuracy. An increased extracellular matrix (ECM) stiffness may contribute to an overall increase in tumor stiffness, and some components of ECM are involved in the process of lymph node metastasis. A hypothesis might be that increased MRE stiffness of prostate cancer could predict lymph node metastasis by reflecting the remodeling of ECM. Because there was collinearity between prostate cancer MRE stiffness at 60 Hz and at 90 Hz, these two parameters couldn't be fitted in one multivariable mode at the same time. The conclusion is that a combination of prostate cancer MRE stiffness and maximum diameter can be used as a preoperative imaging marker for predicting lymph node metastasis of prostate cancer. Now, there are take-home points. First, prostate lesion stiffnesses and maximum diameter were independent predictors for lymph node metastasis of prostate cancer. Second, among the significant variables, prostate lesion stiffness showed high odds ratio at multivariate analysis. Third, a combination of prostate lesion stiffness and maximum diameter had high sensitivity and high specificity for predicting lymph node metastasis of prostate cancer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hu. Also, we will pass all the questions to Mr. Hu and let him reply us by email. And I would like to thank for the informative talks of our two speakers. This is the end of this section.
Thank you, Mr. Edwin Ao and our panelists. Please enjoy a video clip we have prepared for you. Our next session will begin 15 minutes afterwards. Thank you.
A system with helium-free MR operations cannot run for 24 hours a day. Based on a decade of innovation, we've revolutionized MR operations with the Ingenia Ambition 1.5T. Its groundbreaking Blue Seal magnet operates with only 7 liters of helium. This fraction of the usual amount of helium is placed in the magnet during manufacturing and then fully sealed, enclosing the coolant for the rest of its lifetime. No helium can escape, and the system will stay cool, ensuring hours and hours of continuous high-performance scanning and creating peace of mind from potential helium complications. But it would not be such a game-changer if it only revolutionized helium-free MR operations. Also, no compromises are made on speed, patient comfort, staff comfort, and clinical confidence. You'll be amazed at what you can do without 1,493 liters of helium in your MR system.
Healthcare professionals around the world are united by a common mission: to help patients lead healthier and longer lives. For more than a century, Siemens Healthineers has pushed the boundaries of medical technology, and people have benefited from every innovation. More precise diagnostics, advanced therapies, better treatment outcomes, and ultimately, a higher quality of life. Our aim is to harness the power of digitalization and connectivity and make healthcare more personal and caring. State-of-the-art imaging and lab diagnostics lead to faster and more accurate diagnoses. Digital integration frees up medical staff from routine tasks, leaving more time for patients. Artificial intelligence and digital twins lay the foundation for treatments that are truly tailored to the needs of each individual patient. Today, we may not know what healthcare will be like in 50 years, but no doubt, we at Siemens Healthineers are at the forefront in shaping it. With the latest technology, with the unparalleled expertise and passion of our employees, with strong partners in scientific research, in close cooperation with our customers, but above all, for people.
What is deep intelligence? For us at Canon Medical, it encompasses many things. Introducing the Aquilian One Prism Edition. AI-assisted imaging is deep intelligence. Combining the power of our advanced intelligent ClearIQ engine with spectral deep learning reconstruction is deep intelligence. Being able to distinguish true signal from noise to deliver exceptional scans without compromising on speed and dose is deep intelligence. An integrated end-to-end spectral workflow that includes a 160mm volume scan and an extensive suite of spectral analysis applications is deep intelligence. With the new Aquilian One Prism Edition, deep intelligence is integrated into every scan for every patient, now and long into the future.
Welcome back. Let us begin the second part of our academic forum. Let's welcome the first speaker, Mr. Dragon Honglong Liu.
Mr. Dragon Honglong Liu is the Vice Chairman of Hong Kong Radiographers Association. Also, he is the Chairman of Hong Kong Association of Radiation Therapists. He is also a certified medical dosimetrist in the United States. He got his master's degree in radiation science in University of Sydney in Australia. Today his topic is Advanced Radiotherapy Technique, etc. Dynamic. Let's welcome Mr. Dragon Liu.
Good morning, my name is Dragon Liu. I'm a radiation therapist in Prince of Wales Hospital in Hong Kong. Today I would like to share with you my presentation topics, Advanced Therapy Technique of Brain Tumor by using our new extract dynamic system. This is my agenda of today's presentation. I will go through the background of this sharing session, then I will introduce the extract system of the components to all of you, and let you know and show you the workflows of our extract system. Finally, we will have a brief discussion about the advantage and the disadvantage. My working place is Prince of Wales Hospital in Hong Kong, and my department is Department of Clinical Oncology. In my department, we develop into two sessions. One is chemotherapy, another one is radiotherapy. I'm working in the radiotherapy session. Under this session, we provide the external beam treatment, brachytherapy, and nuclear medicine to the cancer patients. In the external beam session, we have 5 linacs and 2 CTC. All 5 linacs are in variant brand. I would like to share with you how we deliver a high accurate treatment to the brain tumor by using the extract system. The brain tumor, for example, acoustic neuroma is very small in size. We need highly precision treatment accuracy. And the movement of the patient may result of the inaccuracy of the beam delivery and increase the side effect of the patient and even worse the treatment outcome. The increased side effect, the patient may suffer dizziness, memory loss, stroke-like symptoms, and a poor brain function. For the transition, IMRT and SRT, not enough to maintain intrafractionated position accuracy. We need to integrate with modern imaging and surface guide technique to deliver such high standard treatment, so-called IGRT and surface guide radiotherapy. And the seamless imaging procedure throughout the SRT or the SRS treatment to make sure the intrafractional accuracy and the extract dynamic which combine this IGRT and the surface guided treatment together. Extract dynamic is the trademark of the brain lab equipment. It unifies the power and the precision of the cutting-edge tracking technologies. It delivers high-precision treatments for a wide range of patient positioning and the monitoring workflows, including the cranial and prostate. The system can install on both variant and elector machine to deliver a high-precision treatment. In 2021, my hospital, Prince of Wales Hospital, installed the extract system to our TrueBeam machine. The main treatment case of us are using to treat the head and neck and the brain treatment region. For example, the acoustic neuroma and AVM. This is the picture I captured from the Brain Lab website to show you how the extract dynamic system installed on both variant and elector machine. Now, let me to introduce the components of the extract dynamic system to all of you. They include the first part, the thermal surface tracking camera. The second component is the real-time X-ray monitoring. The third part is the 6-degree robotic couch. Thermal tracking system consists of 4D thermal cameras, create an accurate and reliable hybrid thermal surface by correlating the patient heat signature to the reconstruct 3D surface structure. To achieve this, 300,000 3D surface points are acquired and matched to the heat signals generated by the thermal camera, creating another dimensions to track their position. You can see from the picture, there is the example of how the thermal camera are working on the patient's surface to detect their position. Another part of the component is the advanced X-ray tubes. The advanced X-ray tube provides real-time X-ray imaging. The largest panel shows more anatomy for easier orientation and interpretation of X-ray images. At the same time, improved soft tissue contrast and enhanced readout speed prevent motion blurring effects. The higher heat capacity of the X-ray tubes support more automatically high-frequency imaging. The 6D robotic couch. A standard linear couch can correct patient position in 4D of freedom. However, improved setup accuracy is necessary to avoid irradiation of critical structures, especially for head and neck, spine, prostate, and other SRS or SBRT cases. Xtrax provides a fully integrated robotic module that allows for optimal patient positioning in all 6 degrees of freedom and enable an improved setup accuracy compared to the translational corrections alone. Now, with Xtrax 6.6 versions, both the couch and robotic motion can be enabled directly from the treatment console with no need to enter the treatment room. It's more convenient to us and the faster treatment to the patients. These are the pictures I taken in my hospital. You can see the thermal detection cameras. The blue light is to detect the temperature on the patient's surface. Then RT can visual the patient's surface temperature on the monitor, inside or outside the treatment room. The red and yellow represent the different temperature of the patient's face. For the immobilizations, there are 3 types of head and neck immobilization device in Xtrax dynamic system. The first one is the cranial 4PI zero-static mask. This mask is used for high accuracy SRS treatment. This mask consists of 2 anterior sheets, a custom nose bridge, and a patient-specific posterior mask. Second one is cranial 4PI open face mask. This mask is ideal for claustrophobic patients or surface tracking for cranial indications case. This mask features a single open face anterior sheet and a patient-specific posterior mask. The third one is a cranial 4PI basic mask. It is designed for the treatments requiring less accuracy, like hospitality, palliative treatment. This mask consists of a single closed faces anterior sheet and a comfortable carbon-based headrest. Now we are moving to the workflow. I'm picking up one case of the example. This is acoustic neuroma. The dose prescription is 50.4 gray in 28 fraction, and the field arrangement is 7 fields arc with non-coplanar arrangement. We are using the BrainLab iPlan for the planning system for this case. From the picture, you can see my colleague immobilized the patient by using the zero-static mask. We aim to position the patient to the planned area according to the planning CT. The monitors show the real-time positions of the patient related to the planted position. The couch will move to follow the planted positioning automatically by press and hold the couch pendant or the remote pendant, then go for the X-ray verification step. X-ray verification, like the picture show, a pair of ceiling X-ray tube takes the image from two angles. X-ray images are matched on the software side with extended DRRs for better visualization of an easier orientation within the patient anatomy. Fusion tools such as a rubber band, snapback fusion's functionality further simplify the verification process. Then auto-matching of the DRRs to correct the difference in the position by Auto-60 couch shift. During the radiation treatment, surface thermal detector continuously monitor the position change of the patient. If the change is larger than threshold value, for example 1 mm, the warning signal out of tolerance will appear on the screen. Then the system will trigger the X-ray verification automatically to verify the patient position. This is a short video to show you how the etc. system working on. Now, the system takes the X-ray images and the verification by auto-matching. After they match the images, they will automatically move to the right position and the treatment will going on. This is a short video to show you how the etc. system working on. You can see the thermal detector is continuously monitor the patient position, and sometimes they will trigger the X-ray to verify the patient position. So, finally, let's discuss the advantage of the etc. system. The advantage of the etc. system are their deep LINNET integration. It integrates with high-end LINNETs and enables not only automatic patient loading, but also automated beam hold based on preset surface and X-ray tolerance. The same deep level of integrations allows for the automatic triggering of X-rays based on predefined gantry angles or MU intervals. And the system can do the non-coplanar monitoring. etc. dynamic continuous verifies the patient initial position with X-ray imaging throughout the treatment delivery. Even at non-coplanar couch angles, during beam-on, the system can detect potential patient misalignment, helping to mitigate the treatment errors. And the treatment time of this system is very fast. For the limitation of the etc. system, due to the design for the SLT or SLS purpose of this machine, the micro MLC installed in the gantry will limit the machine field size. In our hospital, the machine's limitation to field size is the X draw is 40 cm, but for the Y draw is only 21 cm. So other than the SLT or SLS, the case variety are limited. We cannot treat a large field case in this machine, need to move to another machine. And the disadvantage up to now, we found that there has some interference of the thermal detector while the gantry is moving. This problem will trigger the X-ray verification process to verify the patient position. Sometimes it may take more radiation to the patient and sometimes increase the treatment time. This is pending improved by the manufacturer. We hope in the coming future this can be improved by the software update. So for this presentation, I need acknowledge my colleagues and the Hong Kong Association of Radiation Therapists. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Liu, for your lecture. The Q&A part will be put at the end of this section. Now, we move on to the next speaker. The fourth speaker is Ms. Cora.
Ms. Cora is the Financial Director of Macau Radiological Technologists Association. Also, she is the Principal Radiological Technologist in Department of Radiology of St. General Hospital of Health Bureau in Macau. She got her bachelor degree of Biological Imaging and Radiological Science from Yangming University in Taiwan. Her topic is Brief Introduction of the Radiation Safety Management in Public Hospital in Macau. Let's welcome Ms. Cora.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cora from Macau Radiological Technologists Association. Today, I would like to introduce how we do the radiation safety management in the public hospital in our city. I believe everyone knows about the public hospitals in Australia have been accredited by international hospital accreditation programs. And the accreditation is based on the setup of standards and procedures to ensure the process of carrying out high-quality and safe healthcare services by medical professionals. The public hospital in Macau have passed the accreditation of the Australian Council on Healthcare Standards, in short form is ACHS, and equipped is an assessment and quality improvement program developed and implemented by the ACHS. It served as a framework for the management of medical and healthcare service to ensure high quality and safe services and to achieve quality improvement. Radiation safety management of public hospital in Macau is the responsibility of the radiation safety team, which is one of the branches of the occupational safety and health category of the hospital risk management team. Based on the hospital's access to the ACHS hospital accreditation, there are different categories of hospital safety management working groups, such as chemical safety team, manual handling teams, etc. Our radiation safety team was established for radiation safety, and it was the origin of the group. The functions and goal of the radiation safety team are mainly for all personnel, radiation equipment, and radiation sites under the hospital. To review and assist in the development of relevant operational guidelines for personal radiation dose monitoring, safe use of radiation equipment, maintenance of equipment and sites, continuous training for staffs, revision of radiation protective material inspection regulation and operational guidelines, and follow-up of the implementation of the work. Last but not least, conduct radiation safety audits throughout the hospital. The team regulates radiation safety in hospital by revising operational guidelines. On the left picture shows the first edition of the radiation safety operational guidelines established by the team, and on the right pic is a part of its catalog. The team is now continuously updating and optimizing these operational guidelines and is going to launch the latest version.
When we're talking about the object of radiation safety monitoring, are mainly divided into three categories. First is personnel, second equipment, and third sites. Targeting to personal radiation dose and the utilization of radiation dosimeters for staffs, to maintenance for radiation equipment, and monitoring to radiation sites. In the area of personal radiation monitoring, the hospital had appointed its radiation protection supervisor in each department who use radiation service since 2017, and the radiation safety team is responsible for relevant training. Each supervisor is responsible for the personal radiation dosimeter settlement of his department and also supervising the staffs to use it correctly and recording the personal radiation dose record of the department, etc., so as to achieve more comprehensive radiation safety protection. On this line, it showed an example of personal radiation dose monitoring report, which summarized the use of radiation dosimeters and settlement of each staffs in the monitoring department using the fixed sampling period. It lists out data such as is there any radiation dose exceeding the standard and average delivery ratio of the radiation dosimeters, so that each department can understand its situation that makes improvement. In addition to personal radiation doses, the radiation safety team will also monitor the radiation equipment of the hospital, including the number of maintenance plan and its actual implementation, and the comprehensive rate of maintenance performed according to the established schedule. On the figure, it shows an example of the radiation equipment maintenance plan and the implementation monitoring report, which summarize the comprehensive rate of fixed radiation equipment and mobile radiation equipment in a fixed sampling period according to the schedule. It lists out data such as planned maintenance times during a fixed inspection period and the number of execution date which is advanced or delayed by less than 5 days, and the comprehensive rate of radiation equipment maintenance according to established schedule, etc. In this way, each department can understand its situation that makes improvement. Besides, the radiation safety team will also monitor the radiation site of the hospital. During the period, the inspection of the radiation site will be monitored. The result of the inspection is included, and the comprehensive rate of each radiation site inspection in accordance with the established schedule. On this figure, it shows an example of the radiation site inspection plan monitoring. It summarizes the number of planned inspection of the relevant site during a fixed period, the number of execution date which is advanced or delayed by less than 5 days, and the radiation site according to the established schedule. The comprehensive rate of each radiation site inspection in accordance with the established schedule, so that the relevant departments and engineer can understand the situation for follow-up. Continuous training on radiation protection and safe operation training takes an important role in maintaining radiation safety. The radiation safety team is responsible for publishing and regularly update training materials on the intranet for radiation protection and the utilization on personal radiation dosimeters, and strengthen the knowledge of radiation safety among colleagues through provide training for new staffs and radiation protection supervisor in relevant department. At the same time, the team will also help training on radiation protection materials inspection in January 2017. Here
shows parts of the radiation safety online training material. For staffs who speak English or Portuguese, we also provide an English version. In this way, we can ensure all of the staffs can clearly understand the relevant training. And here shows part of the online training on the utilization of personal radiation dosimeters. Same as the radiation safety training, there is an English version. In addition to amending the and optimizing the radiation safety operational guidelines for hospitals, radiation monitoring and continuous training, the radiation safety team has also revised the regulation and operational guidelines for radiation protection materials inspection. Besides, in January 2017, we conduct training on radiation protection material inspection and continued to follow up the implementation in the hospital. Also, advice on the use and the proper storage of radiation protection materials in various departments. Here is an example of the radiation protection material inspection report of the hospital, which lists out the number, weight, lead equivalent, inspection date, the inspector, inspection result, date for next inspection, and other inspection data. The inspector will also record the status of the inspected material by photo and drafts a report for the department. The team conducts radiation safety audits for all departments in the hospital annually that use the radiation surface or have radiation site and equipment, to give out suggestions for improvement and follow up on the result of the previous audit. Here shows an example of the radiation safety audit. There are 13 items of the audit, which including the use and the management of sites and equipment, radiation protection materials, and personal radiation dosimeters. On this picture shown on the slide, our colleagues are conducting radiation safety audits. On the left picture, the radiation protection supervisor is showing the auditors the radiation safety guidelines and personal radiation dose files. On the middle picture, the radiation protection supervisor is showing the radiation warning signs and posters to the auditors. On the right page, the auditors is checking the storage and the quantity of the radiation protection materials.
Cora, you can continue with live talk.
Yes, maybe there's some technical problem. We are fixing it. Please wait for a while.
The team will also monitor the radiation site of the hospital. During the period, the inspection of the radiation site will be monitored. The result of the inspection is included, and the compliance rate of each radiation site inspection in accordance with the established schedule. On this figure, it shows an example of the radiation site inspection plan monitoring. It summarizes the number of planned inspection of the relevant site during a fixed period.
the number of execution date which is advanced or delayed by less than 5 days, and the radiation site according to the established schedule. The accompanying rate of each radiation site inspection in accordance with the established schedule, so that the relevant departments and engineer can understand the situation for follow-up. Continuous training on radiation protection and safe operation training takes an important role in maintaining radiation safety. The radiation safety team is responsible for publishing and regularly update training materials on the intranet for radiation protection and the utilization on personal radiation dosimeters, and strengthen the knowledge of radiation safety among colleagues through provide training for new staffs and radiation protection supervisor in relevant department. At the same time, the team will also help training on radiation protection materials inspection in January 2017. Here show parts of the radiation safety online training material. For staffs who speak English or Portuguese, we also provide an English version. In this way, we can ensure all of the staffs can clearly understand the relevant training. And here shows part of the online training on the utilization of personal radiation dosimeters. Same as the radiation safety training, there is an English version. In addition to amending the operation and optimizing the radiation safety operational guidelines for hospitals, radiation monitoring and continuous training, the radiation safety team has also revised the regulation and operational guidelines for radiation protection materials inspection. Besides, in January 2017, we conduct training on radiation protection material inspection and continued to follow up the implementation in the hospital. Also, advice on the use and the proper storage of radiation protection materials in various departments. Here is an example of the radiation protection material inspection report of the hospital, which lists out the number, weight, lead equivalent, inspection date, the inspector, inspection result, date for next inspection, and other inspection data. The inspector will also record the status of the inspected material by photo and drafts a report for the department. The team conducts radiation safety audits for all departments in the hospital annually that use the radiation surface or have radiation site and equipment, to give out suggestions for improvement and follow up on the result of the previous audit. Here shows an example of the radiation safety audit. There are 13 items of the audit, which including the use and the management of sites and equipment, radiation protection materials, and personal radiation dosimeters. On this picture shown on the slide, our colleagues are conducting radiation safety audits. On the left picture, the radiation protection supervisor is showing the auditors the radiation safety guidelines and personal radiation dose files. On the middle picture, the radiation protection supervisor is showing the radiation warning signs and posters to the auditors. On the right page, the auditors is checking the storage and the quantity of the radiation protection materials. It's lab aprons on this page in the radiology department. As a conclusion, the radiation safety management of public hospitals in Macau is mainly carried out by the radiation safety team in the occupational safety and health category under the risk management group of the hospital. The radiation safety in public hospital in Macau is maintained throughout drafting and reviewing relevant guidelines for all personnel, radiation equipment and sites, providing advice and recommendation on personal radiation dose monitoring, safe operational on radiation equipment, equipment and site maintenance, continuous training, and annual audits. That's all of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Cora, for your lecture. Now, we move on to the next speaker. Here comes our last speaker, Mr. Jerry Kai-Hong Lei.
Mr. Jerry Kai-Hong Lei is the Vice President of Macau Radiological Technologists Association. He is also a Senior Radiological Technologist in Department of Radiology of Zheng General Hospital of Health Bureau in Macau. He got his bachelor degree of Diagnostic Radiography in University of Sydney in Australia. Today, his topic is discussion on frontline radiation protection techniques during interventional procedure in Macau Hospital. Let's welcome Mr. Jerry Kai-Hong Lei.
Dear colleagues and friends, thank you for joining me here today. I'm Jerry, Vice President of the Macau Radiological Technologists Association, the MRTA. It's my pleasure here today to share with you my experiences of frontline radiation protection techniques while doing interventional procedures in Macau Hospital. Since I'm a frontline radiological technologist, I will mainly focus on talking about the practical and technical aspects of radiation protection during interventional procedure. I will be talking about interventional procedures that involve the use of ionizing radiation, briefly explaining the aims of radiation protection, discussing some frontline interventional radiation protection techniques for patients, discussing some frontline interventional radiation protection techniques for our staff members. First, let's have a look about radiation. As you can see on the graph, radiation can be classified into non-ionizing radiation and ionizing radiation. Non-ionizing radiation is low energy, not enough to change the chemical properties of our body tissue. However, ionizing radiation is high energy, enough to cause chemical changes and damage of our body tissue. Since interventional procedure involves in using X-ray guide fluoroscopy, X-ray is a type of ionizing radiations. As I mentioned before, that ionizing radiation could be harmful, that we need to be alert while using it. Now, let's have a quick look at the aims of radiation protection. The purposes of radiation protection are to prevent deterministic effect and to lower the chance of stochastic effect. So in terms of deterministic effect, there's a threshold dose to trigger this effect. Cataract, hair loss, skin burn are the examples of this effect. However, deterministic effect can be avoided with proper radiation protection. Stochastic effects such as cancer, genetic effect. Stochastic effect has no threshold dose. However, it is unlikely to happen with proper radiation protection. Well, after a brief introduction to the purposes of radiation protection, let's take a look at this table. This table roughly shows the patient doses from some common diagnostic exams. As you can see, a very common exam, chest X-ray, has an effective dose of 0.02 millisievert, which is similar to the dose you're walking outside for 2.5 days. Now, we use chest X-ray as references to compare with another very common exam, head CT. A head CT dose is 100 times the dose of chest X-ray, which is a lot. Alright, now let's look at the dose of interventional procedures. The doses of vascular stent and PTCA procedure are 520 and 755 times the dose of a chest X-ray, which they are more higher than the common CT scan. The reason of such high dose with regard to interventional procedure is mainly due to relatively long procedure time, as well as continuing using X-ray guidance is needed during the procedure. Well, we've talked about interventional procedures not just involving the use of ionizing X-ray, but also having relatively higher dose compared with that in common diagnostic exam. Therefore, proper radiation protection techniques must be used when working in intervention room in order to protect the patients and the staff members. Now, let's move on talking about the interventional radiation protection techniques. But before that, I want to bring up a question. Where the patient and staff member doses mainly come from when doing interventional procedure. As you can see the picture, radiation doses to patient is mainly from the primary beam. However, radiation dose to the staff members is mainly come from the scatter radiation. Say like every 1,000 photons emit from the X-ray tube, 100 and 200 are scatter radiation. Only 20 arrives the detector. The rest of them are absorbed by the patient. Now, all of us should know about patient dose is mainly from the primary beam. So as a technologist, we are the gatekeeper. We need to do our very best to protect the patient from the primary beam. Here are some of my experiences that I would like to share with you about radiation protection to the patients. After that, I will talk about radiation protection to the staff members. First, let's look at the picture. First point, maximize distance between the patient and the X-ray tube. According to inverse square law, intensity is inversely proportional to the distance. So, further the patient is from the tube, the lower the radiation intensity the patient will receive. And number two, minimizing the distance between patient and the IR detector. Due to auto brightness control, if patient detector distance increase, the auto blindness control will call for an increase of X-ray here. X-ray output, increase of X-ray output in order to obtain the optimal images. Another point is minimize fluoroscopy time. Very simple. The shorter the exposure time, the lesser the dose the patient will get. Also, keep record of the screening time and also the dose report for every patient. Another point is to use pulsed fluoroscopy and pulse acquisition. Try to use the lowest frame rate where possible. Another point is to avoid exposing the same area of skin. If we keep irritating the same body part with the same angle for a long time, that body part skin will start to heat up and result in forming a hot spot. If it is severe, it will cause skin burn. As I mentioned before, skin burn is one of the deterministic effects that we can avoid with proper radiation protection technique. What we need to do in this case, as a gatekeeper, we should notify the doctor from time to time to expose the patient through different angle and different skin entry point to avoid skin burn from happening. In terms of radiation protection to patient, there is one thing we cannot control, that is the body thickness. The thicker the patient, the higher the X-ray energy that need to penetrate. Therefore, the higher the dose that the patient will receive. As shown in the picture, every 5 millimeters increase in body thickness, the patient dose will be double. So, in order to get lesser dose, what we only can do is to keep ourselves nice and fit, if possible. Another point is try not to use too much the oblique or the lateral projection. Why? Because when you use the oblique and the lateral position, the projection, they will increase the patient dose due to the longer travel distances. Compare with, you see the AP, the PA. Also, avoid using magnification. When using magnification, the II detector will adjust focusing. Due to increased number of photons per unit area of the II detector, the ABC system, auto brightness control system, will increase the radiation output to maintain the same brightness. The number on the right show when magnification is double. Say like here, from 12 to 6. The dose will increase from 100 to 400. which is 4 times more. Also, try to avoid using acquisition mode. Acquisition mode is taking serial snapshots, and this dose rate is approximately 10 to 60 times the normal fluoroscopy dose rate. Also, use collimation. Try to collimate to the region of interest. Technologists need to know the anatomy well. Try not to chop off the region of interest. Otherwise, the doctor is going to complain. Well, I've just finished talking about frontline radiation protection techniques for patients under interventional procedures. So, what are the interventional radiation protection techniques for our staff members? Remember, I've mentioned that radiation protection for patients is to deal with the primary beam, while radiation protection for staff members is to deal with the scattering. Before that, there's a slogan about interventional radiation protection I want to share with you. That is, reducing patient dose always results in staff member dose reduction. This makes sense, right? Okay. In terms of interventional radiation protection for staff members, we should always apply the TDS principle to our work. T stands for time, minimize exposure time. D stands for distance, maximize distance from the source where possible. S stands for shield, always use shielding. These pictures show why distance is so important when doing intervention imaging. Have a look at the floor plan view. This is C-arm, where the radiation source is, and this is the examination table, where the patient lie on, and this is the shielding around the source. And this is the mobile shielding located near the end of the table. So we forget about the units. Just look at the numbers. The number represents the dose. What we want to talk about here is where the technologist should stand when doing interventional procedure. Where possible, the technologist should try to stay away from the source, from the radiation source. We should try to stand either near the end of the exam table, or stand behind the mobile shield. These 2 points are safe for technologists to stand when doing the procedure. Also, we must wear personal radiation protective gear such as lead goggles, fly-oil shield, lead apron before going to work in the interventional room. When wearing lead apron, since the thickness of the commonly used apron is 0.25 millimeters thick. It is very important for us to distinguish the front side and the back side. The two pieces from the front side should be overlapped and wrapped around so that the thickness will become 0.5. This is based on the fact that 0.5 lead equivalent will give a protection rate of greater than 90%. Meanwhile, since the front has 90% protection rate, we should face the radiation source or face the C-arm when we are working. Ideally, lead apron should extend to at least the level of the knees. Too long, you will get tripped and fall. Too short, your reproductive region is not being protected. Moreover, after using the lead apron or the lead gowns, they must be hung up properly. Don't throw them everywhere because this will cause cracks and lose their protective effect. In terms of shielding, the common ones we used are the ceiling mount, screen, lateral shield, also under table curtain. Mobile force shield can be also used where possible. Radiological technologist, as a gatekeeper, should remind the doctor to keep their hands away from the exposure field. As you can see here, this is incorrect. The hands under the exposure field. This is correct. Hand away from the field, from the exposure field. Hands being exposed in the field not only will increase the staff skin dose. Why? As you can see here, increase of thickness. It will also increase the patient dose due to the increase of thickness. If it is necessary, disposable lab gloves can be used. When doing intervention, we should always use the under-couch technique. Under-couch techniques is to keep the X-ray tube under the table. Why keep the tube under? As the X-ray tube emits the primary beams, when this hit the patient, it produces scatter. Scattering is the one we need to deal with regarding the staff member dose. So, we need to keep the tube under the table because we have the lateral shielding. Also, we have the mount under table shielding, providing protection from scattering. Plus, we have our net apron that gives double protection from the scattering. When C-arm is moved to lateral position, we should stand on the detector side. It is because the detector side scatter is much lower than that at the tube side. The detector side is the secondary scatter. The tube side, the X-ray hit the patient and we will get the primary scatter. As you can see here, red, which means here the scatter radiation is a lot. Here, green, you can see this is the lower part. All personnel who involved in working inside the interventional room must wear personal dosimeter, or what we call PRM. Personal dosimeter should be worn at the chest or the waist level, inside the lab gown. Last but not least, we shall keep updating and reviewing our radiation protection knowledge regularly. In Macau, our society, the MRTA, regularly holds radiation protection lectures, not just for the radiological technologists, but also for all medical personnel. In my hospital where I work, we have to log in to the hospital intranet to do the medically related online knowledge training every now and then. Radiation protection knowledge training is one of them. To sum up my presentation, there are only 4 points, but very important 4 points. First, radiation protection for patient is to deal with the primary beam from the tube, while radiation protection for staff members is to deal with the scattering from the patient. Second, always a good use of the TDS principle, time distance shielding. Always bear in mind good use of this principle. Number 3, reducing patient dose always result in staff member dose reduction. That's very common sense. Number 4, stay out of the room if not necessary. So here are my references. This is the end of my presentation. I hope everyone stays safe and well. I look forward to seeing you all again soon, face to face. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you all the speakers for the speech. Now we are going to the Q&A section. And there's some questions from our chat box. The first question is for Mr. Dragon Liu. Hello, Dragon. Are you there? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Dragon.
Yeah.
I know you have answered the question by typing in the Q&A box, but I think the other audience also want to know about that.
Okay.
One audience want to ask, is an immobilization device needed for the body, and can it be done on uncooperative patient? And please.
Yes, because I just mentioned my exact track system, because we are treating for the high accuracy case. So for this high accuracy, we need to do some immobilization device for the patient. Even for the body treatment, sometimes we will apply the wet lock to the patient to treat the body region. So it's very important for the immobilization device for the patient. For the cooperative case, for example, like a head and neck case, because so many organs inside our head, it's very difficult to do the surgery. So for this case, the radiotherapy is a very best option for those patients who need the treatment, especially for the cancer patient, because the lesion inside the head is very difficult to use the surgery method to take it out. So radiotherapy is a very important and very best option for them. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dragon.
Thank you.
And the second question will go to Cora. Cora, are you there? Hello. Okay. The question is is there any specific course for radiation safety program in your region? And is radiographers able to pursue the job in the absence of radiation safety supervisor?
Okay, let me answer. For the first question, previously, we will do the radiation safety or radiation protection training course face-to-face, like CPD mode. But due to the need to maintain social distance during the COVID-19 epidemic time, so this kind of the education course on the radiation safety are conducting in the form of online self-learning now. So for the second question, as I mentioned before, the radiation safety supervisor of each department in the public hospital in Macau are responsible for the use, proper storage, and the file preservation of the personal radiation dosimeters, for example, TLD, of the departments. To correct manage the preservation of the radiation protection materials, for example, the apron, etc. So in the department who use radiation service, such as the imaging department, for example, radiographers can also handle this job. Thank you.
And I also want to ask a question to you, Cora. And you say that we'll get the TLD badge to monitor our dose. So how if I overload the dose, I get the exist radio from the TLD? What can we do?
I think when this, if we unfortunately we got this condition, we have to first report to the person who overdosed to the department head, and then let them know about that condition. And then secondly, maybe we have to review the process of how the person used his or her TLD. Is it improper using the TLD or storage, etc. So we need to do some review on it or do some inspection on it afterwards. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And also there's some question for Jerry. Hello, Jerry, are you there? Hello, Jerry.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
Some questions are for you about the pregnant staff. What is the management of your pregnant staff in the radiology department in your hospital?
Well, according to IAEA, after the female radiation worker, who is informed about her pregnancy, the dose of the embryo or the fetus must meet the dose limit of the general public for the remaining pregnancy period. So in my workplace, the pregnant female worker usually will be assigned to do some light work, such as some modality QC, this kind of things, instead of going into the interventional room, because it involves in using a high dose. Like this. Hope this answers your question.
Okay, and also another question is also want to ask about you the personal monitor dosimeters. Is that not necessary to wear two dosimeters, one inside the light apron and one outside? Why we no need to? The question is about that.
Where inside is good enough. I know some area they will wear the PLM outside the thyroid region to get the comparison. But in Macau, we usually just wear one dosimeter inside the lead apron at the chest level or at the waist level, like this. Hope this answers the question. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. So do we have do the panelists have any questions to the speakers? Panelists?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr.
I
Long.
have a question.
Yeah.
maybe Siming and Mr. Ping who in Jiangdong liver? Jiangdong?
Hello?
Siming, you hear me?
Siming, yes, Siming is not online, so he may not answer your question directly now. He is attending to another meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first, congratulations in Macau society. You are professional. You are very good, very nice. Very nice. This webinar, very professional. And I have a question for Liu in Hong Kong. How in this time? How about patient before the radiotherapy in treatment? They need PCR testing before they come in hospital.
Okay, so you asked about in this period of time the COVID-19, if the patient come to my department for the treatment. Okay, for our department policy, because most of the patient will wear the mask to go to the hospital. So if the patient, the treatment region is head and neck, because the head and neck region patient need to remove the mask. So for those patients, we ask them to do the COVID test. The COVID test is like the throat, use the salivary to test the salivary every week. If every week for those patients is negative, then we will continue the treatment. Okay. So every week they will do.
Yeah. If patient come back again, they must test it again.
Only 1 week, one time. 1 week, one time.
1 week, one time. If patient go back home, if patient go back home and come back in hospital again for treatment again, we need to testing again.
No, because our treatment is everyday treatment. Treatment. Let's say the 1 week, 5 days, they will come to my treatment. They just only provide with the result within the 7 days. It's okay. Okay. So after the 7 days, they need to undergo the test again. So to prove them in this period of time, they have the negative result, and we can do the treatment for them every day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Only for the head and neck treatment. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's very good. And question for Jerry. And how about you very difficult in you because of some of the patient for Jerry, some of the patient you necessary patient got to COVID. You necessary for in your intervention for patient. How you protect in radiation protect and PPE protect outside. Very difficult. How about in Jerry?
Yes. We still need to wear the protective gown. Yes, we must use the PPE. Yes. Outside the
glove,
outside the apron. Yeah, all cover. Yes, also yes. Yeah, we must use the full PPE to do this to deal with the COVID patients. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Mr. Law. Have any other questions?
Hello. May I ask a question?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
According to radiation safety program, Cora, I would like to know the inspection on lead apron and the crack is annually is enough or not?
Beg your pardon. The inspection on apron. May I beg your pardon?
Yeah. Lead apron. Yeah. Annually is enough or not? Annually inspection.
Oh, okay. We do it annually.
Annually.
I think it's okay. We also do it annually. Yeah, for the lead apron.
Yeah. Which technique would you use for inspection on lead apron and Tarashi? Which technique?
We use both. We use the CT to scan it, or we also use the radiation machine X-ray machine to scan. Yeah. Both use the machine and the CT.
Yeah. Oh yeah, CT or X-ray machine. Can I use a fluoroscopy machine in OT? Fluoroscopy is okay or not for inspection on lead apron?
For COVID patient, you mean?
No. Lead apron. lead apron inspection.
I know it's
or any crack or any something. Yeah.
For which kind of patient? Because I cannot.
Not patient. Yeah. I would like to know how to check the crack of lead apron and thoracic.
Oh, also use the same way as the lead apron. The same way.
Yes.
for the thyroid shield is put in the same way. We just cover it on the CT table and then scan it, and then you may see is there any crack on it? Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I see Miss Chen. Yeah, Miss Chen, I go on.
Chen, you need to unmute first.
Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Hello. I would like to thank you MRTA for inviting me for this panelist, and I got a question for Jerry. As we know that patient may develop radiation injury after intervention procedure, especially when the screening time is very high. But normally it won't happen immediately. So how are you going to? Do you have any protocol to let the patient know that in case when after the intervention procedure, when they went home and they suddenly develop radiation injury, how should they get treatment? Because treatment also they need to get people from oncologists, right, to handle the radiation injury. Do you have any protocol on this?
So when we are doing the interventional procedure, if the dose is for example, the accumulated dose is too high, we will get the alert from the machine, and we will get the red signal from the machine that the patient will get a relatively higher dose from this procedure, and if it is possible to happen, if we really see the patient a hair loss on the table or something like that, we need to inform the patient to for example, to go to our emergency department to get some treatment or to observe, keep observing, and for a while to see if any treatment need, something like that. Yes, we will keep monitoring the patient instead of let him go away.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Okay, and is Peachy Luna? Yeah, please unmute. Yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody from Philippines. Firstly, congratulations to Macau Radiological Technologists Association, and thank you for the invitation. My question is for Ma'am Cora. Yeah. So I would like to ask, are all institutions, be it hospital or a medical clinic, required already to go accreditation? Second is, who are those qualified to undergo radiation safety training to become a radiation safety officer? Thank you.
Oh, first question is for my knowledge, because my topics only mention the condition in the public hospital in Macau. So I do not have the enough information for the private one in Macau yet. So this question have to be discussed later. And then the second question, so for the radiation protection course or training is provided by the radiation safety team in our hospital, and all the teammates have the accreditation or accredited for the knowledge about how to train for the staffs in other departments in the hospital.
Thank you so much, Cora.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, Miss Denise. Yes, please.
Hi. Thank you very much for MRTA to invite me to be part of the panel, and congratulations for a successful meeting. I have a question for Miss Cora as well.
Okay.
So it's actually about the audit reports. So when you perform the screening of the lead aprons, you will have a report that you type up for the department, correct? What is it that you report on exactly? Do you report on the general condition? Is there a specific dose reading that you indicate on the report, or do you also recommend any replacement, or how long this lead apron can continue to be used?
Oh, you mean for the audit report, right? The report on the audit. Yeah, we will also do it first. We do it by orally when we inspecting the department. We'll also tell them which part of the facilities, for example, or the condition they need to do some improvement, and then make a simple draft for them, and then leave them to do some change. And afterwards, we will leave the detail in the black and white paper, the report. We will send back to the hospital and both to the leadership of the hospital and the department. They need to follow up. Maybe 1 year later, we will follow up the condition on how they change the mistake, etc. Yeah.
So you'll give them about a 1 year period to make any adjustments or changes.
Yeah, because we do it mainly annually now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I think this is the last. Oh, so it's a big thanks to our panelists. Since the scientific meeting is about to end, and let's welcome the president of MRTA, Ms. L.K.Kok, and the chairman of MRTA, Ms. Denise Chun, to give us a conclusion. Mr. Kok, you unmute first.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, speakers, panelists, and audience. Today we can great success because have all of you. During this COVID-19 pandemic, we have lost a good friend from Myanmar. Everybody know Mr. Kim Mountain. Mr. Kim was an amazing gentleman, loving and caring, and it's hard to accept that he's not longer in our lives. His passing is a great loss to the radiological technology community. Here, on behalf of the Macau Radiological Technologists Association, I express my deepest and heartfelt condolence to the Mr. Kim's families and colleagues. Mr. Kim will be missed, and may he rest in peace.
So thank you to all speakers for participating in our online conference today. Now I'm announced that our annual meeting ends here. Hopefully the pandemic will end soon, so we can meet and communicate each other without wearing a mask in the near future. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye. See you on the next CPD.
Congratulations, MRTA.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Sugiyanto.
Congratulations. Fernando. See you soon. Zheng.
Luna.
All the students.
From President.
You are work hard a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yes,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.